swag when I walk, boy. Hello everyone, and welcome to another season of NGS. We are back here with NGS Div C once again. That's where we were yesterday, and I believe that is where we're going to be on Thursday as well. So a lot of Div C action coming out this week on the Togepi channel, but today it is going to be Magnitude Earfquake versus FC Hong Kong. Now, map pick and ban has already come through, and just to get a little bit of an idea of what we have going, it's gonna be Brax's Holdout and Sky Temple banned away by FC Hong Kong, Magnitude Earfquake banned away All Track Pass and Battlefield of Eternity, and they won the coin toss. They decided on map pick, and we are going to be going to Infernal Shrine. So hopefully can see some Tychus, hopefully can see some Blazon with Hoku in the chat, hopefully can see some Artanis, though not typically the map that we do see it on. But with that being said, should be a pretty fun one today. And especially because, again, this is week one. This is where the teams are still trying to get kind of place. This is where teams are showing how good they are now, how much they deserve to be in these divisions, and how much can they climb within these divisions as well. Just trying to get that early placement. And just a little update on the channel as well before we do get started, as all 10 players are already in the lobby, so that's kind of why I'm rushing this intro a little bit. But the new emotes have arrived. There's going to be 5 new emotes. Artanis pick, Artanis ban, which I believe I have called Hoku and no Hoku. That's literally the name of the emotes for anyone that's curious. Then I have Togepi pause, and then hype, and I even forget what the other one is. There might not even be another one. Oh, yeah, no, I think that's it. But yeah, so oh, the stim pack, that's what it is. Togepi 1 stim. So yeah, if you like those emotes, be sure to hit that sub button if you want to be able to use them. I do have a couple follower emotes for those that cannot sub as well. And over time, I do intend to fill up all my sub spots, or all my emote spots. I think I still have 3 more follower emotes, and I believe I have like 7 animated ones, so definitely gonna have to come up with some ideas for those. But as always, if you have any suggestions, any ideas, be sure to toss them out in the chat, and if they're good, I'll probably get those set up as well. I'm also planning on eventually redoing all the current ones I have, not all of them, but a good chunk of them, to kind of fit the new style, because I like this artist a lot better. But either way, it doesn't matter, because right now it's time to talk about the draft. We are heading into Infernal Shrines for map number 1 here between FC Hong Kong and Magnitude Earfquake. And I really need to get this set up right now, because, again, I'm still on the 1 monitor setup. And I know I literally seem to say this all the time, but I'm genuinely doing another move right now. So because of that, lots of stuff just all over the place. But I swear, in a couple weeks, it'll be done. I'll finally be able to relax and live my life. But everything's starting to come through right now, and it's going to be Sylvanas banned away first on the side of FC Hong Kong, trying to remove that carry. So again, should be a ton of fun to see what exactly we're going to have picked and banned here coming out. Now, Sylvanas is typically not something we see banned away too often on Infernal Shrines, just because it's a little bit less of a macro map. It is definitely a very large map, but the Punishers themselves aren't as strong without people pushing behind them, since they do focus the heroes instead of the structures. So you have a little bit less leeway with that. It is a lot more beneficial to push with the objective, and also to have the objective, because if you don't defend against it, then it'll target your structures, then it will absolutely tear through them. But we do see the Stukov banned away on the left side there on Magnitude Earfquake, and the Hogger banned away on FC Hong Kong as well. So, and Hogger, this is Hogger's single best map. So typically isn't like S tier pick for the offlane, but on this specific map it is. But having said that, Hogger's usually A tier anyway, so solid ban regardless, as we do see Dahaka getting banned away by Magnitude Earfquake, which I believe is one of 4 Magnitude rosters this season. Should be a ton of fun to watch them going through. I believe they've won all of their games so far as well, if I'm not mistaken. Unless I'm thinking of CCS. There's 2 big orgs, you know, sometimes it's hard to keep up which is which, but it's going to be Vala locked in first for Special Chai. Obviously, very, very strong carry, very versatile as well, whether you go the Hungering Arrow build, the auto attack build, and honestly, even the multi-shot build in the right situations can be very strong. And on Infernal Shrines, maybe there's even an argument for that, but on the side of Magnitude, they're going to be locking in Azamodan for Stanky Slayer and the Anubarak for B-Man. Now, the Asmodan pick is definitely very interesting to me. Now, obviously, it's going to be really good at taking out the skeletons and shoving in the lanes. But in terms of actual teamfight prowess, could definitely struggle. I'm wondering what talents they're going to go. I do suspect it might still be greed just for those teamfights. And I think the globe spheres, or what, globe of death, sphere of death? I forget what the name is. Sphere of annihilation, something like that. Is going to be able to one-shot the skeletons anyway, so it might just be worth going for more of that teamfight-oriented build. As we see Anduin locked in for Helix the Cat and Blaze for Splendid Daddy. And I do like that they picked their offlaner early on. Especially they can try to ban out any kind of major counter. Imperius is going to be gone as well. Obviously, that can be played in multiple roles at this point, ever since the changes. But if they ban away something like the Leoric, with the Dahak already being gone, with the Hog already being gone, with the Blaze already locked in, and there it is, the Leoric ban. I had a feeling it was going to be the Leoric. It's pretty smart drafting right now on the side of FC Hong Kong. It means they're going to have to go down a tier for the offlane. Obviously, there's still some good picks, but those major offlaner picks, those mainstays, they're all either picked or banned at this moment. So it is going to change things up a little bit on the side of Magnitude Earfquake. But they still have 2 picks coming out now. I suspect they will pick their offlaner here, and healer as well. So it is going to be the Sonya for Deadon and Rhaegar for Dirty Dut. Now, I do like the Rhaegar. It's going to give them a lot of that AoE healing. And again, Blaze is going to be dealing a lot of AoE damage. Same with Joanna. That was just locked in for memes. So having that chain healing is going to be very useful for the team. And then Sonya, obviously, Leap, very strong ability. Definitely not that S tier that we see in terms of clear speed, but is very strong in terms of those team fights. So still a very solid pick coming in for them. As we see Kel'Thas being the final pick for Calyrex. As 1 second, let me remove that bot. Thank you. And so they do have a lot of AoE damage, and they have a lot of zone control. Joanna, Blaze, Kel'Thas, they're so good at holding their area. But Sergeant Hammer, final pick for PlantFacts, and they have nothing to really go for it. I mean, if Memes goes Fallen Sword, maybe they can get on top. But I think that's kind of what you have to go for. And even then, PlantFacts should be able to get away. Anubarak can peel, same with Sonya. Rhaegar can keep them alive. This is a very good Sergeant Hammer pick. I think it's an absolute draft breaker, which, in my opinion, is always fun to see. So definitely going to be looking forward to seeing how that's going to get played out. But we're going to find out right now as we head into game number 1. All right, and here we are, game number 1, loading in right now between Magnitude Earfquake and FC Hong Kong. This should be a very fun one. Now, the Sergeant Hammer for PlantFacts, I brought it up a little bit during the draft, but I mean, even the Asmodan 2 for Stanky Slayer, they have so much range on the side of Magnitude right now, and they don't really have a lot of anti-poke on the side of FC Hong Kong. Vala's not going to be able to dive into the backline. Kel'Thas also wants to be kind of that poke mage. He doesn't really want to be diving the backline. Joanna, Blessed Shield can create some distance, but not going to be able to follow up entirely. But on the other side, we do have the Sonya. We have the potential Leap. Most likely it's going to be Leap. I think Leap is really good this game. Just kind of facilitating that engage, and the Sergeant Hammer autoing over top, and then the Asmodan just throwing out those spheres, just getting even more AoE damage. I mean, I gotta say, in terms of just draft, I do have to favor Magnitude Earfquake here. I really like the play they did in the draft on the side of FC Hong Kong, where they took the Blaze and then banned out the Leoric, so a lot of the kind of main meta offlaners were already removed. Really, Sonya was the only one that was left. And even then, definitely is not as tanky, kind of forced to fight. But looks like we are going to be starting out here very soon. PlantFacts may not have loaded in, so there is a chance for the pause coming out soon. And if there is, that's the time to use the new Toki V1 pause emote. Wow, I show way too easily and way too naturally. It is not a good habit. But yeah, new emotes out. Definitely be sure to use them. But looking over at the rest of the composition, because there is a lot of dive and not a lot of peel on the side of Magnitude Earfquake. And again, typically that isn't that good when you have poke heroes in the backline. Again, the Sergeant Hammer, the Asmodan. But because there's not a lot of dive on FC Hong Kong, it is going to be very strong and very useful because they can kind of self-peel just with their range. But obviously this is still going to be able to be outplayed if they're able to find those positions, if they're able to find those flanks early on. Can get a lot of use out of that on FC Hong Kong, and it looks like everyone has loaded in just fine, so no pause necessary yet. I am not going to take back the shield for the new emote, but yeah, here we have it. 5 more seconds and both teams are going to start rushing towards this middle, and maybe we can see our first fight, and some towns have already come out, and it is going to be Greed. So Globe of Annihilation, that's the name. I knew it was something like that. Just gonna be dealing a lot more damage towards structures. So not the one I expected, but should still be good here. I think that's the main thing. Because it will help them a lot in terms of push. My aspect ratio is messed up. Is it? Looks fine to me on my from what I'm seeing. Is anyone else seeing that as well? Because I am zoomed out, but that looks fine to me. But yeah, either way, we are starting to group up a little bit over towards this bot lane. Memes gonna be walking in, and we'll be able to just clear out this wave together. But again, when you have Stanky Slayer on that Asmodan, when you have Plant Facts just kind of dealing damage all over, it's going to be quite good at just clearing those waves. But anyway, like I was saying, Greed, it's going to be really good at just taking out these structures. It's going to help them with the push, and especially once they get a Punisher, if they're able to get it. Small box and black box. Yeah, I'm give me a moment. But from what I'm seeing, I think that's on your side because everything else looks fine. And now my game may have lagged a bit. There we go. Just had to reload. But yeah, camps have been taken both on the right side and the left side by both of these two squads. Now Splendid Daddy is going to be alone, going to be able to dodge out on the Burrow Charge. The Impale actually going to jet propulsion right back into it, but it's still quite tanky. Has that magic armor as well. And Dirty Dot actually takes a decent amount of damage back from the cannon towers as well. And because they send so many players towards the mid lane, they're going to lose out on the siege camp at the bot side. And now they're going to be able to use those Impalers to get a little bit of poke damage onto this bot lane wall. So we should be good there. FC Hong Kong getting a little bit of an early prio lead as level 4 is now coming out for both sides. And we are seeing a little bit of Plant Facts already able to just pick people off. Not to get those kills, but at the very least deal a decent amount of poke damage. And they're not able to match it yet on the side of FC Hong Kong. And their dive potential is definitely a lot weaker. I genuinely think Fallen Sword may actually be the play this game for memes. But we are going to have to see later on if they are going to go for that backline dive, or if maybe they're just going to go Blessed Shield and try to win out by just bursting the front line, which is definitely an option because Dead On is on the Sonya, B-Man is on the Anubrak. Those are two very squishy frontliners overall. Even with the Rhaegar behind them, that Ancestor healing, if they have enough burst, it's not even going to have time to come out. So really going to depend on how these two teams play the fights. I'm really curious how FC Hong Kong wants to play it because those are kind of the two options. Either try and find a flank into the backline, otherwise Plant Facts just going to continue just free hitting with those siege, with that siege range, or just try and take out the front line, take out Beeman as fast as possible. But because it is Creed of the Hunter, I do think it might be more based off that, just trying to get as much DPS as possible over top. But the skeletons are now spawned. And both sides do have the original move into it. Right now, FC Hong Kong, they're the ones that are able to secure more of these skeletons. Plant Fact still hitting over onto the backline. Is Dead On actually gets put with like a dead, but B-Man starting to get taken a little bit low, but Dirty Dot gonna be back there, able to get those heals. But it's 32-13 in terms of skeletons. They need to fight if they want this on the side of Magnitude Earfquake. And now Dead On taking a lot of damage. Special Try gonna be coming in. We'll get the first blood for FC Hong Kong. But now 36-15 in terms of skeletons. This should just be going the way of FC Hong Kong. They're gonna get the first Punisher of the game. And it's going to be the Mortar Punisher. So this is going to get a decent amount of damage done to these structures. It's less than 4 minutes into the game, so this is still not going to be too strong. It will definitely deal a little bit of damage, and they will definitely be able to get the priority to poke onto these structures. But it's quite squishy, already less than half HP before this wall is destroyed. Now, it will be following very shortly. There's actually the Condemned coming through over on the front line from memes. But again, they're going to be able to stop this push, but they will lose their mid lane walls entirely. But now Stanky Slayer is still trying to get this bot lane shoved out, trying to get some soak for the team. As meanwhile, FC Hong Kong has started on their siege camp. And in the top side, we see Splendid Daddy just matching with Dead On. I don't expect to see too much action there. I believe in general, Sonya does win out on this matchup. Because Splendid Daddy basically has to hit the jet propulsion. It's in the bot lane. We're starting to see a little bit of fight. B-Man taking a decent amount of pokes. Starting to get really low, but not enough damage for the full kill. It looks like they want to contest onto this siege camp, but right now, they're not being allowed in. Magnitude Earfquake, they're not down in levels, so they're definitely willing to fight it out right now. And with that little bit of extra poke, they're going to be able to push them off of the left siege camp. So FC Hong Kong, they're just once again going to go over to this bot lane one and again have that 2-to-1 camp trade. So they're still winning out on those mercenaries in a pretty strong way right now. As PlanFax is in the bot lane just trying to clear stuff out, but this shield glare coming out of Memes, so good at negating a lot of this poke damage, at a lot of this siege potential coming out from PlanFax. And I guess in this case, siege defense potential coming out from PlanFax. But either way, they'll still be able to deal with it. Stanky Slayer and Dirty Dot going to be in the area as well. Just going to help buy a little bit of pressure, a little bit of space for PlanFax, and they will be able to clear it out. But FC Hong Kong still making the first move across the map. They're the ones that are going to be able to get mid priority first. They're going to be able to get this wave in first. But B-Man trying to prevent, and Dead On coming in from behind. They're looking for Special Chai, but Leap of Faith going to be there to keep Special Chai alive. Will be forced to tap, and I guess that is something. No major cooldowns have been used on the side of Magnitude Earfquake, but they are finally starting to get that siege started. Because PlanFax and Stanky Slayer, this is what you want to do on this team composition. You just want to hit structures right now, because you are not going to be as good in a fight. Now, level 10 is starting to come out for both sides. Both sides starting to lock in their Fiorix. It is going to be the Bunker, the Phoenix, the Light Bomb, Rain of Vengeance, and the Blessed Shield. So we're not going to be seeing the Falling Sword in this game. And frankly, I think front to back has been working for them. So not too surprising to see them try to commit more to that. Whereas on the side of Magnitude Earfquake, Cocoon, Ancestor Healing, Leap, Blunt Force Gun, and Tide of Sin. So it's essentially all the standard picks here, but sometimes standard is standard for a reason. These are still very strong talents, and I do think most of them are right. I think all of them are right. The only one that I would maybe talk about is Blessed Shield versus Falling Sword. I know Falling Sword definitely isn't meta, but I think this game could work. But at the same time, I think they're both pretty even. It just depends how they want to play it. And if they're playing front to back, Blessed Shield definitely going to be the better pick. But bot lane wall entirely getting sieged down by the side of Magnitude Earfquake. And now they're starting to set up. They have the Cocoon, and now they're looking in the backline. B-Man not able to land the stun, but now over top, Calyx taking so much damage. Leap of Faith is there, Dead On. Still trying to chase, but the healing is strong enough. Calyx is going to be able to get back to safety. So they got the initial push, but they're not able to win out the fight. And now Meme's taking a decent amount of poke damage on the backline of it, but they're not going to be able to secure it. But the skeleton fight definitely favoring us. B-Man lands a stun onto 2. And now Calyx and Splendid Daddy take a lot of damage. Jet Repulsion lands onto 2 as well. And now Light Bomb for Memes only onto B-Man. Not going to be the strongest. But in the backline, they're going to be able to take down the Sonya. And now it's 4v5. As now they're looking towards PlanFax. PlanFax starting a takedown quite low as well. Will be completely zoned away. But they only need 9 more skeletons. If they can get just a couple of extra burst shots over top, they could still save this for themselves. B-Man is in the area. The HP bars are low. PlanFax still hitting over top. As Special Chai, Splendid Daddy, and Calyx all low. 32 to 30 right now. B-Man has full vision of the area as well. Splendid Daddy's so low. Jet Propulsion not going to be able to land. 33 to 38. And after everything's said and done, FC Hong Kong, they will be able to take the Frozen Punisher. They're just surviving on almost no HP, but they managed it, and that's the most important thing. And now they're going to get this push in the bot lane. This is now the 8-minute Punisher, so this Frozen Punisher is going to be a lot stronger. I think they could definitely look to finish off this keep, as now B-Man taking a decent amount of poke as well. The Impale will buy a little bit of space. But again, the Frozen Punisher still hitting it out in the back line. They're able to find PlanFax, and with the Light Bomb going to be going down. Special Chai able to get in that vault, get that extra kill. And Helix the Cow was hit by the Cocoon, but it doesn't even matter. The Frozen Punisher half HP, but the fort is completely gone. It is also 4v3 in this bot lane. Kind of 4v1, as in the top side, we're seeing Splendid Daddy just shoving in the waves, trying to get a lot of damage onto the fort, and it has less than half HP. And they're just going to let the Frozen Punisher shove in a little bit more as they go back to take all the camps on the side of FC Hong Kong. Really strong macro play coming out from them, and really good spot to be able to get that dive going, as it is time for us to go for the pause, because that's just kind of how it goes. Let me take a look, see what's going on. And we are having some audio issues on the side of FC Hong Kong. Hopefully we'll be able to get back into it soon, but for now, we are into the pause, and pretty close game overall right now, I gotta say. This is about as close as it has been, I think, this whole week. I think I've only casted 2-0 so far this season. Granted, this is only my 4th game, so there's still plenty of season to go. But I'm hoping for a game 3. I know definitely both of these two teams definitely not gonna be hoping for those, but it's gonna be happening. And the words we got: Tank got so tired of comms that they uninstalled their drivers. So in case you're wondering what the players are talking about, that. And I guess this is a good time to mention and to give them a quick shout out as well. But this stream is sponsored by Factor 75. So and that's really all I can say, because apparently the players are ready now. But yeah, get a subscription for Factor 75. Click the link in the chat. Get yourself some really delicious, easy to make food straight to your door. But Splendid Daddy and Dead On, they're going to start fighting here in the top side. But the rest of FC Hong Kong are here, and Dead On is all alone. Rain of Vengeance and Condemn. Couple more autos, and the leap even comes out, but not going to be enough to save Dead On's life. So that's going to be a pickoff in the top side, and they're going to be able to steal away this Bruiser camp as well. Very massive, massive play by FC Hong Kong there. They're going to get a lot for this too, because with this Bruiser camp, they don't even need to manually push this themselves anymore, but they're still going to walk in and take this top lane forward for themselves. So that's going to be 2-0 in terms of those major structures used. And they're just going to continue, because right now, Magnitude Earfquake, they're all in the bot lane. They're trying to deal with these impalers, and that's just giving them free time onto this top lane wall. They're going to be able to take all of it down. Dead On is here, but again, no leap for 20 seconds. It was used. Oh, I completely forgot to turn the game. Sorry about that. You didn't miss too much. It was a pickoff. Now here's the real fight coming through. Rain of Vengeance is going to be coming through, as now the Gravity Lab is going to prevent any fall. Yeah, I apologize for that. Again, I'm still trying to run this on one monitor, so it's really difficult to keep it all going at the same time. But yeah, no, we're good. We're good. 30-second delay. Don't forget, 30-second delay in the chat to in-game. But yeah, my apologies. This is quite scuffed, but we're back, and that's what matters. You didn't miss out too much. You missed them getting the pickoff in the top side, and all the plays after that were pretty slow. No huge pickoffs coming through. So we're all good here now, and now all 4 members, they tried to make a little bit of a play on the side of Magnitude Earfquake, but they're not going to be able to get that done. Now they are going to be looking for that for those globes of annihilations, but again, this is greed. It's not going to be dealing that much damage to the heroes. They can clear away these waves with it, but they're not going to be able to fight in these team fights. And right now, with all the pressure being on the side of FC Hong Kong, it's so difficult for them to kind of match into it. It basically goes entirely to PlantFax, just trying to deal with the siege. And PlantFax is able to get a little bit of damage, but Helix the Cat, just a Divine Star on its own, basically able to keep everyone up and healthy. That's Splendid Daddy as well, just sitting in that oil slick, not having to yet even. It's just going to be able to out-sustain so much of the damage. They have level 16 talents. They have over a level lead, about a level and a half on the side of FC Hong Kong, as the 3rd Punisher is going to be spawning at the top side, or at the very least, the Shrine will be activating. And now there is still the Bruiser camp on the right side, and B-Man going to be walking in, trying to get a little bit of a scout. But now Memes could be getting caught, but there's just no damage behind it. And that, I think, is a difficulty right now for Magnitude Earfquake. They do have a pushing lineup. Anubrak, good at diving and good at pushing, just spawning out those little scarabs. And it looks like that might even be the strategy this time around. It doesn't look like they're aiming to fight, though. As I say that, they are going to start running back up to the top side. Maybe they're just trying to pop their level 16. They finally did get it from a couple of the minions in the top side. So we are on even talent tiers right now. And now Meme Special Tricalorics, they're already hitting onto the skeletons, just getting a little bit there. That's PlantFax getting zoned a little bit by Splendid Daddy, just trying to play on the outside. And the Cocoon did come through. B-Man trying to dive into the backline, not able to find anyone. Rain of Vengeance does so. And the Condemn on a 3. Dread Propulsion as well. Phoenix over top. Dirty Dead is going to be gone as well. And now Dead On needs to run away. And it's just a clean 2-0 for FC Hong Kong. They should definitely be able to secure these Punishers now. A level and a half lead. They have 20-0 in terms of skeletons. They will be able to get this entire Arcane Punisher. And again, this is going to be going to the top lane. There's no walls here. It is just the keep remaining. So if they're able to get this keep right now, it's just Calyrex and Helix the Cat trying to get this shoved in. They can get a lot of value for themselves. But they're just going to leave Calyrex up there. And they're going to send the rest of the roster down to the mid lane. And just try and brute force this mid lane fort as well. Blessed Shield is up in 15 seconds. So for now, PlanFax is on the safer side here, but is still going to get blinded away. Will still get zoned out. Now, Stanky Slayer, at least we'll be able to take the siege camp. And that's just what they're trying to do right now. Just try and mitigate as much of this damage as possible. Try and get as many camps as possible. Just get some kind of experience, some kind of soak across the map. So Magnitude Earfquake, they're not going to be down level 20s as long. But it's still over a level and a half lead right now for FC Hong Kong. And it is time for the push with the Arcane Punisher. They do not have level 20s, and they're not going to be able to get them here. So this is where the struggle's really going to come through. As now B-Man getting jumped with everything else with the Bro Charge. With the unstoppable B-Man going to be able to get away. Has the tap, has the healing coming out as well. And now it's just the Punisher shoving in. The Arcane Punisher is one of the weaker ones. It's Dead On, taking so much damage from Calyrex. As again, the Arcane Punisher leaping into the backline, just zoning everyone further and further out. B-Man and PlanFax still trying to get some kind of defense happening on this keep, and so far they're doing a good job. And now B-Man going in with the Bro Charge, and now the Raid of Vengeance with stuns over top, and B-Man just gonna go down to the vault. Special Try had more than enough damage, and now with that it's 4v5 again. They can continue this push, they can continue this siege. Now leap into the backline, looking for Special Try, but Dead On all alone in the front line, and Sensor Healing will come out in time, but it's just the one. You need at least a second. And it's going to be another pickoff. Level 20s now on the side of FC Hong Kong. And they're going to continue their push for now. They could look for the core. 20-17. It is 5v3 on the map. They are missing their tank and their offlaner. All they have is their poke damage and their healer. So they're going to try and go for it. But the core is quite strong on this map. And they haven't broken the shield quite yet. Splendid Daddy's still taking a decent bit of damage. PlanFax just trying to get whatever DPS over top. And it looks like they will be able to keep them from ending the game or even getting any permanent damage onto the core. And that helps buy them some time. The fact that they had that defense instead of all their camps stolen away, though, the camps are still going to be stolen away by the side of FC Hong Kong, should say a lot for them. It'll give them time to shove out these other ways. It'll give them time to soak a little bit. As now Rain of Vengeance not going to be in range. Dirty Duck going to be able to walk away from it. But again, 2-level lead right now. Have those extra storm talents as well as Splendid Daddy. Keeping an eye on Stanky Slayer. Memes is in the area as well, but they don't have any DPS with them. I don't think the two of them would have enough damage to take down the Asmodan, but they're definitely going to try. Memes is in the area. The Condemned not going to be in range. Blessed Shield is even going to get popped, but no one else is there. The play is just kind of a little bit disjointed, so Stanky Slayer going to be able to walk it on back, no problem. But with no objective coming up, Blessed Shield going to be up in 50 seconds. There's really nothing to use it for right now. So it's not a bad trade per se because they don't really lose anything just going for it. But this will be giving them a little bit of time on the side of Magnitude Earfquake to try and get some of that soak back on the map because they need their level 20s. They need to be able to match these Storm Towns, and then maybe they can just try shoving in a wave. But again, when you have a push comp that is passively getting pushed in all three lanes, it makes it so much harder to play. You want to be at the enemy structures, not at your own. And the issue is FC Hong Kong is just not going to be letting them. They are going to be getting right back into this siege camp. They're going to be able to steal this away again. It's just going to be Calyrex securing it. So they're going to have a second wave of Impalers just pushing through the mid lane. And the next shrine is going to be in mid, but they're just going to ignore it for now. They want to take these siege camps. They want to make sure they have all three lanes pushing in as much soak as possible as well. Obviously, it's just going to help them with stats at this point, as level 20 is now a hit on Magnitude Earfquake, and now they can really start fighting. And I think Rewind especially going to be such a massive talent for Magnitude. It'll give them that extra lockdown since they are lacking a little bit of that damage over top. Impale gonna land on 2 as they are starting to poke down a little bit, but look at that Flame Strike onto B-Man, just dealing so much damage. Living Bomb not going to be able to deal quite as much just because of that hardened Carapace. as now they're trying to push in. They're trying to get whatever skeletons they can, but it is being difficult. This shield guard just really preventing PlanFax from dealing any damage at all, as another flame strike is going to land into the living bomb, starting to spread, and now Leap in the back line. They found Calyrex, and Calyrex is going to go down, but the Phoenix is still there. Light Bomb on to Memes, not going to land on anyone, but Stanky Slayer will go down, and Ancestral Healing not able to come out, but it will be back up in 5 seconds. Now Dead On trying to fight in the middle of it. They're looking for Dead On. It's Dead On still going to be in the front line, but will not be able to keep B-Man alive. Now PlanFax getting focused down. Ancestral Healing will come out this time with the secondary as well, but it is a 2-for-1 right now for FC Hong Kong. They have 38. They're going to have all 40, and a Mortar Punisher are going to be pushing in the mid lanes. 40 seconds until the Azmodan comes back, until Stanky Slayer is back on the map, as the camps in the meanwhile take down the bot lane walls. They'll be able to clear the rest of it, but with this Mortar Punisher, they can definitely look at least for this next keep. PlanFax is still here. Dirty Dud is here for some safety, and Dead On is here for potential engagement later on, just for that potential lockdown underneath the core if it gets to it, as PlanFax is going to be getting run down by Memes. Memes just trying to keep PlanFax away from this Punisher, just trying to keep this DPS from coming through. And now PlanFax is going to get jumped by the Punisher, and now the Jet Propulsion not going to be there in time. But now they can start looking towards this bot lane, keep it set, and PlanFax just going to get burst down. The Blessed Shield did come down. It was barely even needed. And now they're just going to start hitting onto the core. Leap onto the back lane. Dead On is on Special Try, but again, Leap of Faith is there. Now Dead On is alone. Will be getting taken down as well. And now the next fight may not even matter. They have the Cocoon on Memes, but the Punisher still free hitting. They have the bunker. Special Chive just auto attacking over top. And this should be it. They could look to end the game here. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry for the delay, but one of the players was having some power issues, but they seem to be resolved, and we are going to be heading straight into map number 2, which is going to be Towers of Doom. Now, again, typically this is a map 3 kind of map, but we are getting it pretty early on in the series here. It is going to be for map number 2. And I believe it was selected by FC Hong Kong, as this time around Magnitude Earfquake, they've decided to take first pick for themselves. So gonna be interesting to see if they're able to bring out this game number 2, make it go a little bit different. I do like the strategy that they tried to go for in game number 1, but unfortunately it did not pan out. But now Towers of Doom, definitely a different map. Hogger, probably not going to be as contested. Having that double soaking offlaner is a lot more important in my opinion, and Hogger... Ooh, excuse me. While not the worst at it, definitely does not compare to something like the Dahaka, which we just saw banned away. For which I'm glad. No Dahaka games so far this series, and when Dahaka's gone, I am very pleased and very happy, and hopefully another nerf's going to be coming towards Dahaka. And I believe on the PTR it has been. I don't know if that ever went live or not. I'll be completely honest, I've kind of fallen behind the news, so... but the one where Dahaka just is not able to freely run away from everything like before. But now Sylvanas is going to stay as that permaban coming out from FC Hong Kong. Whether red side, whether blue side, whether Infernal Shrines or Towers of Doom, you are not going to be allowed to play Sylvanas. That's what FC Hong Kong have been saying today. And honestly, I think on Towers of Doom especially does make a lot more sense. Sylvanas is so good on this map. If you lose one fight with those black arrows, those bell towers are just going to be getting removed instantly. You don't need a wave, you don't need anything. You just walk in, take it for yourself, and once you're able to get one bell tower, the rest just kind of falls with it. But we see the Zul ban. Definitely a little bit of an interesting one. We did see the Zul come out on this map yesterday, in fact. For Division C, as well as Hog are going to be the other band coming out from FC Hong Kong, and Vala this time around going to be locked in by PlantFact. So most likely not going to be playing that Sergeant Hammer a second time. But again, the offlaner immediately going to get locked in. Meme's going to lock in the Joanna, and then Splendid Daddy going to be locking in the Leoric. It's going to give them quite a bit of wave clear. Leoric, definitely one of those known double soakers. Blaze is still in the pool if they do want to pick it up on the side of Magnitude, but so far they're just going to lock in their tank. Going to be the Muradin for B-Man. And I'm wondering if we're going to see the Anduin here, because I think if they don't pick it, it will get banned away in the second phase. And they're actually not going to do either. They're going to lock in the Rhaegar for Dirty Dot, so not going to be going for that Light Bomb combo. So because of that, Anduin likely to stay in the pool. Maybe we'll even get banned out on the side of Magnitude Earfquake. And I'm wondering if they're going to do the same kind of offlane ban that they did in game number 1. Just get rid of the Blaze. I think Double Soak is even more important on towers. Deadon could technically still pick Sonya, but it'll be even harder to play here. And it's going to be the Kel'Thas instead. Now, Calyrex had a fantastic game on that in game number 1, but it looks like they're a little bit worried that Stanky Slayer is going to be able to whip that out in game number 2, as we see the Anduin going to be banned by them. Now, it still makes sense. They did pair it with memes in game number 1, and I think Leoric also has a very good time of trying to get that Light Bomb into the enemy team. And obviously, nothing really needs to be said. Leap of Faith, very broken ability. So, always good to remove the Anduin, even if you don't have that natural pairing or synergy with the Light Bomb. But first 2 picks are going to be coming through, and it's going to be the Stukov and the Li Ming. Very interesting picks coming out. Stukov, we typically see it when trying to combo with something like, wow, what is his name? The Varian. I don't know why. Names are just kind of escaping me right now. It is very good with Leoric, though. When you get that Entomb coming out with the Stukov Lurking Arm over top, just provides a huge zone of no fun allowed. And that's exactly what you want. And then Li Ming over top, especially with the Disintegrate level 10, going to be very strong. But little bit of a role swap coming out as we see Stanky Slayer locking in the Sonya, and Deadon locking in the Chromie. Lot of poke, lot of damage overall this time, and I think a bit more frontline with the Muradin on the side of Magnitude Earfquake. I do like this comp a lot more. I think it's a lot more versatile. It is more standard. It's definitely not as fun as the sieging lineup that they built in game number 1, but this does have a lot easier execution, and it's something a lot more that They've definitely played, at the very least, in Storm League, because it is, like I said, quite standard. As this is actually the first Hanzo I'm casting of the season, and I'm very surprised about that. I've never even thought about it until I see it locked in now, but yeah. Special Chai going to be locking in that Hanzo for this game. A lot of poke, a lot of range, and it looks like they're just pairing it around the Entomb and the Blessed Shield, so that's going to be our drafts going into game 2. But before we head in, quick shout out to Factor75, today's sponsor. Click the link in the chat or the panel down below and get 50% off your first box and breakfast for free. Let's head to game number 2. All right, and it is time for game number 2 coming through. We're still loading in a little bit here, but we will have it all set up very soon. And after that, we're just going to be heading right in. Now, looking at these two team comps, I do think it's a lot more even. Though, having said that, last game, I kind of preferred the draft on the side of Magnitude Earfquake. But obviously, the victors ended up being FC Hong Kong. They were just able to play their comp a lot better. And I'm wondering what's going to happen this time around, because Li Ming Hanzo, a lot of burst damage potential for FC Hong Kong, and especially with the Entomb and the Lurking Arm coming out from Splendid Daddy and Helix the Cat respectively, they're gonna have those areas where those skill shots are basically guaranteed to land, and there is no Ando and there's no leap of faith to get them out of there. Now, Rhaegar can provide a little bit of healing. Chromie could get the time trap, at least on themselves. So they do have some kind of escapes, but it could be very difficult for them. Murden can get out. Sonya can get out if they're able to get out before the Lurking Arm. But even without it, it's going to be dangerous. But right now, we are loaded in, and it's time for game number 2, Towers of Doom. And it is 1-0 right now for FC Hong Kong. So they're going to be looking for this domination. They're going to be looking for all 4 points to help tie in first place. Because as we know, yesterday's series was a 2-0 as well. Spoiler alert. Probably should have said that first. But I'm not going to say for who. So you're going to have to at least watch one game or just, look at the results. But yeah, so if they want to tie for that first spot, they definitely need to get that 2-0. But Magnitude Earfquake, they at least want to get those 3 points for themselves. So they need to get that 2-1. They need to get that reverse sweep. But now both sides going to be meeting up in this middle lane. And no one's going to be walking in quite yet. Meme's going to be the first one there, but obviously going to be pretty okay with that, as we're seeing a little bit of burst damage just landing onto Stanky Slayer. But it's Sonya. Sonya's going to be able to heal back up with that spin later on when she's able to walk up to the top side. But the siege is continuing in the mid lane. So it's actually going to be dead on first in the top side. Going to get a little bit of extra priority. Going to be able to get a little bit of extra push. A Special Chai just continuing the poke, and dead on. Starting to take a lot of damage. I'm sorry, I said dead on, but it is Stanky Slayer. I keep forgetting that they swapped for game number 2. But yeah, Stanky Slayer going to be able to get that first push in the top side. But first move is going to be coming through for FC Hong Kong towards the bottom. They're going to be able to hold this middle area. So everyone on Magnitude Earfquake, they're going to have to go around. B-Man now going to be grouping in. We'll only get those 3 mini orbs from that first wave. So there is going to be a decent amount of missed soak in the spot lane. But at the same time, that soak was missing the top side as well. Stormbolt going to be landing from B-Man onto Special Chai. And it looks like they're just trying to get some poke damage on there. Not going to matter too much. But Calyrex already getting started on this Sapper camp. It's already below half HP. Special Chai, Calyrex, and Helix the Cat going to show up to help finish it. And I'm wondering if they even want to contest this, because they have their middle area already set up. Scattershot has been able to scat out. Memes even coming through. B-Man starting to take a lot of damage on Dragon's Breath over the backline. Not able to deal as much as dead on. Will be able to dodge away from the damage. But now can Dirty Dud just hold this? And the answer is no. They're going to be able to steal away the Sapper camp as well. FC Hong Kong playing extremely well in game number 2, at least for the start. As now they're going to be able to get that initial crash. They're going to take down that top cannon turret. And they're going to get at least one of the Sappers to crash. And if they can keep this wave shoving in, they could get more. But right now, B-Man holding the area. Memes trying to sort them away. Trying to keep the DPSs off. One of the Sappers is going to go down. But the other one still had full HP as Memes taking a decent amount of damage. Plantfax already at 38 stacks of Creed of the Hunter. Could definitely be threatening later on as they do clear out the final Sapper. But they're missing more than half their bot lane wall. And that is definitely not how you want to start on the side of Magnitude Earfquake. But other interesting thing is it is going to be the basic attack build coming out of Special Chai, not going to be the Stormbow or the Scatter Shot that we typically see. The PlanFax still continuing to free hit. We'll be blinded just because of that shield glare, but even so, 43 stacks already, and it is going to be deep breathing, so it's going to be that Dragon's Breath build coming out from Dead on the Chromie. And now both sides are level 5, and the altars are going to be spawning in 10 seconds. Special Chai able to spot out PlanFax, but now B-Man ended on there. Could look for a Special Chai. Dragon's Breath, it's going to hit a little bit, but unfortunately the Storm Bolt not able to land. In fact, B-Man takes a lot of damage on the way out with that poke down. Just Special Chai takes a decent amount from Dead on as well, so both sides getting poked down, both sides needing to walk forward, but right now it is going to be the main tank of Special Chai. Is going to get hit by the Dragon's Breath, and that's going to be the first blood of the game. Going over to Magnitude Earfquake now. Topside has been traded. Left altar for right altar. Kind of the norm of the game, but Dirty Dot going to be able to get that final bot lane one. And just like that, they have themselves a 4 HP lead on the cores. Now Memes still walking forward with the Demos. PlanFax takes a massive burst from Calorix, and that's always going to be a threat coming out of this game. Calorix, especially with a couple more levels, especially with a heroic, could just look to one-shot the backline, whether it's Dead on, PlanFax, even Dirty Dud. In the right scenarios, if that Arcane Orbs lands max range, if you have all of those magic missiles landing, you can basically fully pop one player. Now Siege Camp is getting started. Level 7 advantage though, and B-Man walking forward. Level 7 is going to get mashed down. Special Chai is the one that's taking the brunt of the force. Now B-Man jumping in will be able to get the kill. Dead on starting to get pretty low in the backline, but it doesn't matter. Still more HP than Special Chai. So they're going to be able to steal this camp right back on the next spawn, and they're going to be able to get it to crash as well. It's going to be the top cannon tower completely gone. They still have their own camp to take as well, which they should be able to take right now and should be able to hold on to, as well as B-Man just trying to stay at the lane, make sure that the soak is still going to get caught. B-Man shouldn't be in too much threat here. Iron Skin actually going to get popped by Memes, as well as B-Man just going to sidestep all the burst damage. Now PlanFax just here trying to get some damage over top. Will get poked a little bit by Special Chai, as again another condemn is gonna burn 3 into them, but now B-Man jumping onto the backline instead, and Memes taking so much poke damage from PlanFax. Just so much damage. This Val has been free hitting in every single one of these fights. 78 stacks at 5 minutes. And that's into a Joanna who has the double shield glare. That is very difficult and a very high number to have. And they're also able to get the second crash as well. But now Splendid Daddy is here. It is 5v4. The Lurking Arm able to take down Dead on. Now PlanFax needs to run, starting to get poked down. Scattershot not going to be enough for the kill. Splendid Daddy trying to go in, but Dirty Dot has the chain healing. So they will be safe for now, as the altars are just going to get traded 1 for 1. So it's going to be 4 damage onto each of these 2 cores. Stanky Slayer able to get the one closer to the mid lane, as one in the bot lane was taken by FC Hong Kong. Now, less than half a level lead right now coming out from Magnitude Earfquake, but they're still holding on to the lead in terms of XP. They're still holding on to the lead in terms of core damage. Now, offlaners, not too much really to say, but Temporal Loop is going to be up and available now, as Dadon is going to be using that. Level 10 is soon to come out as well. They have the Temporal Loop onto Calorix, and there is no cleanse anymore, so they're just going to be able to full burst. B-Man needs to jump away, but the final auto attack is going to come through. Avatar, unfortunately, was never popped. And I think with the Lurking Arm coming out from Healy's the Cat, it was just a bit too difficult. Now Dragon Arrow coming out into the backline, but no follow-up. PlanFax just able to dodge away. Memes trying to get the Condemn, and the Dragon's Breath dealing so much damage. Quest completed now. So that is going to be lowering the cooldown and the mana cost as well. So now Dead On can continue spamming that more and more. It's going to raise the DPS. It's going to raise the siege potential from the side of Magnitude. And now PlanFax still alive, still hasn't gone down. This is a Gambit, don't forget. So right now already has that extra 2% damage per hatred stack, as now the Entomb is in the backline and they're looking towards the healer. They're going to be able to burst them down. And now this stun, the Blessed Shield onto PlanFax, and PlanFax will go down. Minus 5% attack speed. V-Man will pop the Avatar, but is alone into everyone. The Condemn will be able to bring it a little bit past. But again, the Stormbolt is in place, and Meme's going to be the first to go down. So it is going to be a 2-for-1 trade instead of the 2-for-0 trade. But that's still a Gambit stack gone. So 5% attack speed going to be missing now from the Vala. And in the meanwhile, Special Chai going to be able to lock in that Sapper Camp in the bot side as B-Man trying to get a little bit of extra priority over in the mid lane as the two altars have spawned. Stanky Slayer will be able to channel the one on the left side, as actually Stanky Slayer cancels it. Helix the Cat will be able to get those, and Splendid Daddy trying to walk in now. And the leap in the backline, that might have just been a bait. They're looking for the fight. Stormbolt lands as well. Do they have the follow-up? Splendid Daddy just gonna get burst out, but the healing comes out in time. And instead, they're gonna be able to take down the healer. Dut's gonna be going down, and they're able to find the Vala as well. It's another 2 for nothing. It's another Gambit stack lost. The Sapper Camp still pushing on the bot side. We'll be able to get 2 of them crashing onto the bell tower. And things are starting to come up FC Hong Kong. They're still down 4 HP on the core. But this bottom bell tower is super low. And they're going to steal away the siege camp. They could look to just completely secure this. And they've also come back. They have the level advantage again. Not a massive one yet. A bit over half a level. They will be able to get their level 13 soon. And with the Iron Skin, they're just going to be able to walk this right in and even keep one Sapper alive in case they just want to crash it in for that 1 BM damage onto the core. And it looks like they're just going to be able to as the wave is in the right spot. And there we go. The pumpkin's going to land. 1 extra damage is going to be found. But now that they have 42 in terms of bell towers, this is going to be a very different game now. They're going to have first move. They're going to have first priority. Splendid Daddy maybe getting caught out a bit in the mid lane, but Ancient Spear not going to be able to land. And with the Wraith Walk, Splendid Daddy just going to be able to get back to safety. But it is starting to get quite low. And I do like that they have rotated and are trying to just win out in the top side instead. As we see, Stanky Slayer is going to get jumped. Will leap over the Dragon's Arrow. But that's still going to be Entomb for leap. But also Dragon's Arrow was used. Blessed Shield was used. And Stanky Slayer going to be able to get away. Now, unfortunately, the Sapper Camp wasn't enough to take down the bell tower. But they did clean up the wall. And they're going to be able to start poking down. And Splendid Daddy is going to be here. Does not have Entomb, as we're seeing a pickoff in the bot lane as well. And Splendid Daddy just needs a few more autos. And will be going down with a Stormbolt. It's more than enough. So they will be able to retake onto this top lane bell tower. But there was 1 for 1 in terms of trade, and most importantly, Helix the Cat gonna be the one to channel onto the altars. So it is going to be 24-23 now, but Special Try Calyrex and Memes, they could be in a bad spot. Avatar just going to expire. Now Calyrex gonna get stormed. Gonna get sent up by the Stormbolt. Memes still in the front line, Lurking Arm buying some space. Helix the Cat with the swipes going to keep them away. And in fact, Stanky Slayer almost goes down. But they're just going to pop that Ancestral Healing, keep Stanky Slayer in the game. Leap is now up at the Entomb, and Lurking Arm onto everyone! It's all 4! And they're just going to run straight through them. FC Hong Kong, out of nowhere, bringing out a 4 for nothing. They're going to take this mid lane bell tower. They could go back and retake. They could take the boss. Everything on the map right now is open to them. And all it takes is just this one combo. The Entomb into the Lurking Arm is just so powerful. And when you're able to find the entire team, there's just no one that can really do anything about it. The Leap was still available. Rain of Vengeance was available. But with the instant silence, there is no counterplay to be found. They don't have the Cleanse. They don't have the Leap of Faith. They don't have anything that they might want to be able to have that extra safety. And because of that, they're going to be able to take this top bell tower. The enemy one, their own is still unfortunately on the side of magnitude Earfquake. Now Dragon's Arrow hits onto 4, and immediately Stanky Slayer going to get burst down by Calyrex as they are trying to hold on to their mid lane. And now B-Man starting to take a lot of damage as well. The Blessed Shield goes wide, but it doesn't matter. Once again, the damage is just so high. The damage in general that they have is way too high on FC Hong Kong. If they're able to stun you, if they're able to find you, you are going to be going down. And now Splendid Daddy able to find onto 2. Dirty Dot starting to get taken down quite low. Wraithwalk is there as well. And 2 finds its way onto 2, and Calyrex over top will take down Dirty Dot, and they're gonna be able to take down the ball as well. Dead On is the final survivor, getting slowed. Calyrex does not have the mana to follow, so they're gonna be able to take the altars. They're gonna be able to get the one in the mid lane, the one on the left, and they're going to get the one on the right. Each one of these sending 5 damage onto the core. That's 15. Getting hit. It's 8-24. And with the boss up, with the next altar and one more boss, they can just end the game. This has, once again, this has started very close, but with that 1 Entomb into Lurking Arm combo, FC Hong Kong, they've just absolutely taken the lead. And it's a 2-level lead. This is not a minor advantage that they have right now. This is a very, very major PowerPoint position to be in. Now, all of the bell towers have been retaken to their original sides, but there's still this Saber Camp at the bot side. Special Chai just free hitting over top as well. As now Memes just trying to zone them away, and they will have the swipes coming through from Helix the Cat, but Special Chai gonna get hit into the backline. Dragons are going to prevent Dead Arm from following up. What a clutch arrow coming out for Special Chai. Instead, Memes is the one that's taking most of the damage with Splendid Daddy's now here in the backline. B-Man needs to get away. Starting to get low, but the Entomb lands again. Ancestral Healing, though, is now out this time around. They have the extra healing. Splendid Daddy going to be the first to go down. Memes needs to try and run away. Has the Condemn. But it's the 1-for-0 so far. But what about the follow-up play? Is there going to be another one? PlanFax trying to get a bit of extra damage back on a Special Chai, but very strong fight from them. And with the state of the game, they needed it. They needed to get something in their way, even if it's just the 1-for-0, just relieving the pressure. As now Special Chai could be in a bad spot. Stormbolt is gonna land, and the Dragon's Breath over top, but again, the extra healing is there, and B-Man gonna be the one to fall instead, and Splendid Daddy is also in the area. At the very least, is gonna be able to get those slows. That might be all they need, and instead they're gonna be able to take down PlanFax as well. It's a 2-for-0 on the secondary fight, and it's just... it's a hard position to be in for Magnitude Earfquake, as the siege camp is spawning as well. They could just look to take that, but instead, they're just going to take this clean 4 damage, and they could just go to the boss. There's still 20 seconds left on the front line. There's still 25 seconds left on PlanFax. If they get the boss, they just win the game. And that might be the call. That might be the play. They're not pinging onto it, but look at this wave to the top side as well. This needs to be dealt with at some point, or they might lose that bell tower, or they might lose all that soak. Level 20s are on the horizon as well. They're not going to be getting any passive XP, but they are looking to end the game here and now. It's all or nothing. Can they get it right now over top with the Dragons? They're going to be able to secure it with the swipes. They get it. And all of a sudden, that's it. That's the game. FC Hong Kong, they get the 2-0. They get the domination as they're tied for first in Division C. I mean, I don't even know what to say there. That was... look at the damage charts. I mean, Calyx and Special Chai just free hitting in those fights. 1 Entomb changed the whole course of that game. Changed the whole course of this series. Because before that, Magnitude, they were ahead. They were winning out on the fights. They were winning out on the trades. They lost a bit in the early. They lost the bot lane gate. But they were able to bring that back and get a bit more. They lost a couple altars, but they got that one extra. But once Splendid Daddy got that into, once Helix the Cat got that lurking arm over top, Special Chai, Calyx, and Memes just free hitting over top was all that was needed. It is a 2-0 for FC Hong Kong. But now with that being said, oh, wrong button. There we go. Now we're in the right place. I'm going to see if I can find an interview, but I don't know about you guys. I was not expecting that ending at all. So let's try and see if anyone will be able to show up from our friends at FC Hong Kong. But while I wait to see if someone joins, I would like to thank everyone for watching. Diet Llama, thank you very much for the follow there as well. And again, if anyone's new here, because it is a new season, I know we do see some new faces at the start of new seasons. If I'm ignoring chat messages or follows, I only do that during game, but time for the interview. Hello, Calyx. How are you today?
Doing pretty well, thank you. How are you?
Pretty good, but first game of the season, 2-0 domination. Tell me, how does it feel to have that strong start?
Well, I will have to correct you there. It is our second match of the season.
Already?
But you would have said the same thing for that match too. So
okay, 2 matches, 8 points, 4-0. There you go. That feels even better.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's we put in a lot of work with some coach time off season. I feel like we came in all cylinders starting up the season here.
I mean, definitely. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were Division D last season, weren't you?
Correct.
And so you're going from Division D straight into Division C, and you're already at 8 points, 2-0 series score. Like, have you noticed a big difference going to Division C? Do you think that this is just you were always this good, or do you think you've just improved so much since last season that you're here to compete?
Well, I can tell you, we definitely weren't always that good. I can tell you that. No, I mean, there's been a lot of very deliberate practice. Shout out to folks on the team committed to doing their own self improvement. We had a lot of discussion around specific things from our coaching feedback. It's been work from the team, and it shows.
I mean, it definitely is. Now, so game one, you got the lead, you were able to push it in, snowball it, pretty standard victory. But game two, that entomb lurking arm into destroying everyone in one shot. So tell me about that play, and how much do you think that changed the pacing of the game?
I mean, yeah, it changed up, your typical pace that you do on that map. You kind of sit bot, you get that fort, you lock that down, but that really allowed us to take off with Siege and the rest of the map, right? It gave us the time to really put them on the back foot for the rest of the game, just getting that one in mid lane. Splenda called us back. We were actually backing up from that one, and he was calling his respawn and just set up really nicely for us.
So now, with you being in Division C, with you already being 8-0, I typically like to ask this after the first game of the season, but obviously since this is now your second one, what were your goals going into this season, and what are your goals now, I guess, since we've already gotten your first few games?
Yeah, so we've been working on really being more disciplined on choosing fights, so in and out of fights. And then, we've been scrimming some of these teams and playing up a division, and really just knowing that the enemy team can be in every location that you don't want them to be on, right? We would get into kind of some lazy habits that you might get into in Storm League, where you kind of rotate around and stuff. So we've been trying to be very disciplined about our rotation and very disciplined about getting out of fights that we don't need to be in anymore.
So, I mean, that's definitely coming through. There weren't many bad fights on your side there, and the ones that were close fights. So just a little bit of either outplays or maybe a little bit knowing limits, but it definitely looked very clean. And I've casted a few of your games last season, and I gotta say, the improvement definitely looks absolutely massive. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of your games this split. And the other question I have, so Div C this season, Div B next season?
There are some very tough teams in this division that are going to give it a run for sure. So, but we'll see.
Well, on that note, would be my final real question, I guess. Are there any games that you're specifically looking forward to playing this season?
We scrim a lot with Papegas, so we always look forward to actually having a match against him. Looking forward to that, but otherwise we're actually kind of unfamiliar with a lot of the teams in this division. I know some of them are kind of newer or newish, and some of them we've never really played much before, so looking forward to that too.
Well, it should be a ton of fun for you guys, and I'm definitely looking forward to maybe casting more of your games. We'll see how the scheduling goes on, but if I'm available and it's the right time, I will definitely be picking those up. So good luck for the rest of your season, and before I send you off, do you have any shout outs you'd like to give to the audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, shout out to Earf. They were great just to chill with before the match. Seems like a cool group of people. I look forward to playing with them some more and maybe getting some scrims in. You for casting, always appreciate it. And that also allowed Gio to watch as he was not in the game today. So shout out to Gio for that as well. He's been a big part of the discipline we've been achieving as a team. And then Memes stepped up as a sub for our tank slot today. Did great. So thanks for that. And then shout out to Helix's husband, Luke. Hi, Luke.
Hello, Luke. I'll say that as well. But yeah, thank you very much for coming to the interview, and congratulations on your 2-0 tonight. And good luck with your next game.
All right. Thanks very much. Have a good one.
You too. Well, with that, it is time we start closing things out here on the Tokibi stream. Before I go, once again, if you haven't noticed, if you arrived late, the new emotes are finally live on the channel. I've added 5 new emotes. Eventually, I will be adding some more, maybe reworking some of my old ones, as they are a little bit outdated at this point, and I really like this new artist that I found, so might convert some of my B emotes into that newer style. And also, before I go, shout out to Factor75 once again for sponsoring this stream. And I've tried getting a couple of shout outs, but so far I've been cut short. Now we have the time. Factor75 is a meal service plan. If you click my link or use my code FACTORSC82337 to get 50% off your first box and free breakfast for a year, let me tell you, Factor is fantastic. And here's the main thing about them. Every single meal you get, it's fresh, it is going to be chef approved, and it takes less than 2 minutes to prepare. This is the meal service plan for those people that sometimes don't feel like cooking in the evenings. They don't like cooking. This is cheaper than eating out. This is higher quality, and it's definitely worth it. So give it a try. Click the link. At the very least, check it out. If you like it, feel free to get yourself a box. Just be sure to use my code. And with that, thank you all for watching. I believe my next cast is on Thursday. I may or may not pick one up tomorrow. We'll see what time I get home, but thanks all for watching. Have yourselves a good night and have a great NGS Season 20.